this is Leonie from Frogfish Cards. Today I'm going to bring you this very simple card using Picture Perfect, Petite Petals and Timeless Textures. I've brought you a video earlier to explain in detail how to do multi-layered stamps, so I'm not going to redo the bird today. You can see that in a previous video. I've already stamped out a bird and fussy cut it, so I'll just put that to one side. The piece of cardstock that you require for that project is 3.5 inches by 3 inches of Whisper White. The other pieces of cardstock that we're using today with this card are Tip Top Taupe at 5 7/8 by 8 1/4, Soft Sky at 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, Whisper White at 1 1/4 by 8 1/4, and another piece of Whisper White at 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. So we don't need any of these pieces at this stage. I'm just going to put them to one side. We're working on the background piece, which is the piece of Whisper White at 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. So to start with, we're using the Timeless Textures, and we're going to use this Flourish and the ink splotches. I have 3 colours that I'm going to be doing in the background. We have Soft Sky, Sweet Sugar Plum and Tip Top Taupe. Now I grade these from lightest to darkest, simply because when I'm using my stamps for more than one application of colour, I don't like to contaminate my ink pads. And because I've been doing quite a bit of crafting, my scrub and clean, stamp scrub and clean, is actually down draining on my draining board in the kitchen. So I'm going to use a bit of baby wipe today to clean my stamps in between the different applications, so that I'm not cross-contaminating my pads. So we're going to start off with the Flourish. Now, I wanted the effect that it was running across the page, so I have used it on the diagonal. So what you want to try and do is imagine there's an imaginary line that's running from one side of the page to the other. Oh, pardon me. And you want that to run in line. So just tap your ink pads. They're very juicy. You don't want to over ink your stamps. And imagine that imaginary line and just stamp it on the page. So there's one, and then there is 2. Okay, and that's all we're doing with the Flourish. So now we're using the little ink splotches. So I'm going to start with the Soft Sky. Now I find that these ink splotches ink really well, so I tend to stamp twice and then re-ink, and stamp twice, re-ink, because otherwise they start to not look like blotches at all, but just look like you've made a horrible mess, because they over ink and they just get too messy. So now I'm going to change colour. We're going to use the Sweet Sugar Plum, which is a new colour, and I quite like this colour because it's not really a pink, but it's not really a purple either. It's quite a pretty colour. It's a bit of a berry colour, I guess, so I quite like this colour, which is really nice. And see, this is what happens when there's too much ink on the that's the more the effect that you want. That's just to, yeah, anyway. Everyone does it differently. I am angry with myself about that. Okay, so now I'm changing colour again, making sure that I get a clean stamp. And now we're using Tip Top Taupe. And I have over inked it after telling everyone not to. So I'm just going to clean that off and do it again. So everyone's capable of making mistakes. I make mistakes every day, and that's what you learn from. Plus, mistakes add character at times. I say that to my ladies all the time. So okie dokie, I think that'll do it. Okay, so then we're going to put that aside because we're finished playing with the background for now, and we need to get the piece of card Whisper White that is 1 1/4 inch by 8 1/4 inches, because we're going to punch out with the Petite Petals after we've stamped 6 of the Petite Petal flowers. You can use whichever flower you want, but I chose to use this one, which is this one here. And I'm going to stamp 2 in each colour. So again, you would grade it from the lightest colour to the darkest colour, making sure you clean your stamp in between each colour. So we're doing 2 of Soft Sky, 2 of Sweet Sugar Plum, and 2 of Tip Tap Taupe. I don't like that one, so I'm just going to do another one. Perfect. Okay, so then you are cutting with the Petite Petals punch. Just line it up so that there's a nice even border around your petals. And I've got the shakes today, so that's being a bit difficult. And chop. Just do that to all 6. So now I just like to add a bit of a lift to them, so I put them in my palm of my hand and just push my knuckle into the centre of the flower. It just gives them a bit of dimension. I don't like my flowers sitting flat. Some ladies might like them sitting flat, but I particularly like them with a bit of dimension. So I just push them all in the centre, and it just gives them a bit of a 3D appearance to them. So just like so. So then we want to bring our background back, and our other 2 pieces of cardstock, which is the Tip Tap Taupe at 8 1/4 by 5 7/8, and the Soft Sky at 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. And all I'm going to do now is fold my card, which is the Tip Top Taupe, in half, and use a bone to make a nice fold. Then I'm going to glue my background to the Soft Sky. Normally, if I'm using a bit of DSP, I tend to ink the edges because I don't like white edges. But because this background is been stamped on white, I don't think it's necessary to ink the edges, because that's not going to give me the effect that I require. But if you want to ink the edges, then that's your own personal desire and taste. And then I'm going to attach the Soft Sky to the card, which has been made out of the Tip Tap Taupe. Just like that. And then I'm going to place my flowers on the card. So I like my flowers to not be the same colour next to each other, so I tend to mix them up a bit. But if you want to put colour by colour, then that is entirely up to you. So I'm just going to put 3 different colours on each side. So one of each the colours that we stamped in, and then I'm going to put the other 3 on the other side so that they're not sitting next to each other. So just anywhere you feel that they will look sweet is fine. There's no particular order or area. It's entirely up to yourself where you choose to stick them. Just like that. Now I have put dimensionals on the back of my bird and a little pearl for his eye, and the dimensionals are on the back. So just remove the wax paper off the back of the dimensionals and place your bird. I like him to look like he's retrieving some pollen from the flower, so I tend to put him, I might bring that flower in a bit actually, put him so that his beak is over the flower, but you can place him wherever you want. Doesn't have to have that effect. And then I'm just placing some pearls in the centre of each of those flowers. Now, I've only been a Stampin' Up! Representative for a short time, but I have been crafting for many years, and so I have lots and lots and lots of bling that I have sourced from different places. So I'm refusing to buy any more bling until I've used up the bling that I already have. So please forgive me if you are a Stampin' Up! User only. Eventually this stuff will be all gone and I'll just use Stampin' Up! Product, but at this time I need to be cost efficient and just use what I have. So I'm just putting a pearl in the middle of each of these flowers. If I can get it out of the tweezers, will be right. And there you go. So there's our card finished, and there's my first sample. So I hope you enjoy this. Have a nice day. If there's anything at all that I can do for you, then please let me know through Flite Cards. Bye for now.